Baruch Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Brakate Hawa, Brakate Hawa Shai, Brakate Hawa, Brakate Hawa Shai, Brakate Hawa, Brakate Hawa Shai, Dubada, Abba, Babor, Kar Kadash. I like to give double honors to the elders and apostles, great millstone that teach this truth, the 100% truth, according to the Bible. The title of this lesson is going to be Ants in a Bottle. And this is a reference to the so-called migrant crisis that they're creating a situation of order out of chaos. And how do they create the chaos? By flooding the neighborhoods of these impoverished neighborhoods of Jakes, mainly you black Jakes, man, in places like Chicago, New York, these overcrowded cities that's already overburdened and with resources. And you have Jakes that's struggling in these communities, and yet you're going to flood these communities with migrants. And then on top of that, with these migrants, you're going to give them special provisions, with shelter, which a lot of these Jakes don't have shelters that is already here. And then you bring the migrants over, you're giving them shelter, you give them housing vouchers, you're giving them debit cards, like in some cases I heard up to $9,000 to give them scooters, cars, all these things, and Jake's sitting back looking, you tell us you don't have money for certain things that we do need, to help our community, and we're paying taxes, but yet you're doing this and giving this money to the so-called migrants. And now let's get this straight. Now, a lot of the media pointing the fingers at this Northern Kingdom migrants that's coming over here, and a lot of them are Venezuelans, Guatemalans, some Mexicans, and a lot of the Northern Kingdom tribes that they're supposed to be helping to bring over here to help better their. But we know it's all done to really undermine them. It's done for nefarious reasons, and really they're just a pawn that's being used by Esau Edom. But along with these migrants here, they're slipping in these other nations, man. A lot of them are Chinese, which we know as Moab. A lot of them are Africans, which we know as the Hamites and the Canaanites. And you have Ishmael. A lot of these different people from different parts of the world are coming in through the borders, and they're spreading them out throughout the United States, throughout Babylon. But like I say, all the focus is mainly on the northern kingdoms. And don't get me wrong, a lot of these northern kingdoms, a lot of them are working with Esau Edom. Because, in a lot of reports is coming back that a lot of the Venezuelans had emptied out their prisons. And, they had a large prison population, and they took them and sent them in those migrant routes to flood up here. And that's going to create chaos. It's going to create crime. It's going to create sedition. All these things that are a recipe for disaster, man. And these cities are going to be a lightning rod to set off, a lot of these insurrections that's going to happen. That chaos that I was mentioning. So once chaos is started, what you're going to do, you're going to call up these guerrilla troops that you already have in place over here. And a lot of this is through the spirit, man. A lot of brothers are feeling this through the spirit. You can see the plan of Esau Edom. And he really doesn't do a good job of hiding his hand. We can clearly see what the play is. And so once the Gerber troops are called in, then it's going to be followed with draconian laws, harsh draconian laws. There's going to be a shortage of food, shortage of water, different supplies, and it's going to create a chaotic situation, man. But like I say, with that chaos, they're going to bring that order, and it's going to be a strong, harsh order. And then, as Bible speaks of, you're talking about Jacob's trouble. So the way they're going to shut down that Jacob's trouble is through these draconian laws. And that's when they come in, slip in the MOTB, which one of the prophecies is spoken of in Revelation chapter 12, verse 13 and 16. Revelation chapter 12, verse 13. Let me check real quick. But I believe that's what it is. I know that precept, but like I said, if you haven't said it in a few days, I tend to forget. But it's Revelation chapter 12. That's one we should all know by heart. Chapter 12, verse 13, I believe it is. Revelation chapter 12, verse 13. Okay, no, it's Salakia. But this is a good precept to remember also as well. Revelation chapter 12, verse 12. Therefore rejoice, ye heaven, and ye that dwell in them. Woe unto the inhabitants of the earth and of the sea, for the devil is come down unto you, having great wrath, because he knoweth he hath but a short time. So Esau Edom knows his time is running out, so he has to get his plan underway to try to bring in his new world system, and he think that's going to thwart the plans. That's going to thwart the plans of Yahweh B'Ashem Yahushua. Okay, Revelation chapter 14. Revelation chapter 14, verse 9 and 10. And a third angel followed them, saying with a loud voice, If any man worship the beast and the image and receive his mark in his forehead, the same shall drink of the wine of the wrath of Yahweh. But that's not it. That's not what I'm looking for. Revelation chapter 12. Revelation chapter 12, verse 13. Shalak, let me get back to it though. But it's whether no man will be able to buy or sell unless he had the mark. But I have to come back to it. I should know that off the top of my head. I just hadn't. Okay, I'll get back to it. But let me go on with my lesson before I forget what I was the major part of my lesson I wanted to go over. But he's setting it up for the MOTB, and that's by setting these steps in play for these things to happen, so this man can come through with his great authority and force the people to take the MOTB, which is we know as going to be the C-HEP, the microchip. That's going to be either planted in your hand or either in your forehead, somewhere in your head. As spoken of in John the Revelator. And like I said, from the title of this lesson, I equated to, I remember an experiment where they would take ants and they put them in 2 separate bottles, 2 separate nations, two separate groups of ants. They would put them together in one bottle, and then once they shake the bottle up, the ants will fight to the death. And me moving down south, I've seen people say also you can just take one ant pile, because we have fire ants down here. You can take one ant pile, dig it up with a shovel, and take it and dump it on another ant pile, and they'll go to war with each other. So that's the same thing that you're doing with these immigrants that you're bringing over here, that you're giving resources to, that you're neglecting your own people with, and you're dumping them in these communities that's already tight-knit. It's like being in a bottle, and then you take that bottle and you just shake it up, And all it takes is for one of these so-called migrants, which a lot of them may be, a lot of them may be working for the government, what they call agent provocateurs, and for them to set one thing in motion, and next thing you know, all hell break loose. And, people are already on edge because of the inflation problems, you know, the cost of living, you know, and people aren't barely making ends meet. So, and you know, and this is intentionally done, man. And people only can take for so much before they're going to react. And so we see the plans of the devil, man. And you know, they was talking about it on, I think it was Redacted, and that's where I got the video. One of the brothers did a response to the video of Redacted, and it was going over that, you know, how they were saying that, you know, they were saying Jake was going to, and a lot of them guys that be on these broadcasts, so a lot of them are also, you know, they tied in. So they kind of put the narrative out there that it's going to break off in so-called black neighborhoods first. You know, they putting that narrative out there so they can just, you know, it's like trying to instigate a situation which they know all the right ingredients are already set for this thing to happen. So let me go to 2 Corinthians chapter 2, verse 11. Lest Satan, who is Satan? He's talking about Esau Edom, man, because he's the one's in rulership right now. And Satan, we're not talking about the spiritual demon Satan, we're talking about the physical demon of Satan that's ruling right now over the world, and should get an advantage of us, for we not ignorant of his devices. So we know what his plan is, man. That's the revelation through the Holy Spirit of Mashiach, through Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua. Jeremiah chapter 30, verse 4 through 7. And these are the words that the Lord Yahweh spake concerning Israel and concerning Judah. For thus said the Lord Yahweh, we have heard a voice of trembling, of fear, and not of peace. As ye know and see whether a man doth travail with child, wherefore do I see every man with his hands on his loins, because we're going to be in distress, we're going to be crying out. As a woman in travail, and all faces are turned into paleness, alas, that day is great, so that none is like it. Alas, that day is great, as that none is like it. It is even the time of Jacob's trouble, but he shall be saved out of it. And who's the one that's going to be saved? He's talking about specifically about his elect is going to be saved out of it. 2/3 of our people, man, they're going to be destroyed, either through the time of Jacob's trouble, or through the ICBM missiles when they get launched over here through the third woe. We go to 2 Ezra chapter 15, verse 14. We're going to read on down to 17. Woe unto the world and them that dwell therein. And woe means, you know, destruction. Something bad is about to happen. Woe unto the world and them that dwell therein. For the sword and their destruction draweth nigh, and one people shall stand up and fight against another, and swords in their hand. So it's really not literally talking about a physical sword, you know, like we have back in the day, which some people do have. You know, they have those machetes stuff now, but we're talking about like these weapons, man, that mostly everybody here in Babylon, man, is overloaded with weapons. And that's that sword. That's the modern day sword. These guns, these rifles, these long rifles. Everybody talking they have a stick. For the sword of destruction draweth nigh, and one people shall stand up against another people. So you're going to have infractions of people, you know, they divided, they're going against each other. You have Democrat against Republican. You have white state. You have you know, you got different drug gangs. They got all these different tribes up here, and it's just going to create a hellish situation, man. Everybody's going to go to their people, and they're going to go to war, man. It's going to be a battle. And if you saw the movie Civil War, which came out probably about 2 or 3 months back, and that give you a good indication of kind of what it's going to be like, man. But I think it's going to be much more worse. They can't even come close to describing what it's going to be like in real time, what it's going to be like here, man. So woe unto the world and them that dwell in, for the sword and their destruction draweth nigh, and one people shall stand up and fight against another people, and swords in their hands, them weapons, them guns. For there shall be sedition amongst men, and invading one another. They shall not regard their kings nor princes, and the course of their actions shall stand in their power. And who's the kings and princes? Talking about our government, these orders that they're going to put out. They're going to say hell with that, Everybody's going to go for self. It's going to be ultimate chaos. And a lot of brothers have been having dreams here lately about this chaos that's going to happen. It's going to be all type of fighting, man. Just people that's going to be fighting for no reason. And I've had those dreams also in some of my dreams in the past. Of just people just fighting over nothing, man. Just a whole lot of chaos. And like I said, the brother, I think for GMS New Jersey, he had a very vivid dream. And one of the angels of the Lord came and gathered him and his family from out of the chaos, and a lot of the other brothers of the of GMS, and they were taken to a safe place. Verse 17, this phone, man, it's acting up. A man shall desire to go in the city and shall not be able, for because of their pride, the cities shall be troubled, the houses shall be destroyed, and men shall be afraid. It's going to be a lot of fear, man. And these so-called independent women don't need a man, They're going to change instantly in that day, man, because they're not going to have 911. They don't have a man there to protect them, especially a man of the Lord. So they're going to be on their own. A lot of them, like I said, back in the time of the downfall of Israel, a lot of our people, under the siege, were eating their own kids. So a lot of these women, they're going to be passed around, so to speak. They're going to be passed around amongst these men. And their kids, are going to be used for the type of food, because you have to realize here in Babylon, everything is set up on a chain system. Everything has to be bought in every day in order to replenish the shelves. Nobody grows food anymore. Nobody stores food. So, after 3 days without food, you can imagine what it's going to be like. And this place here has been fattened for the ripen, man. It's like how they're going to butcher a calf or anything that they're going to butcher. They're going to fatten it up. And that's the same what the Lord is doing here in Babylon the Great. Because provisions right now are cheap enough where you can go out there. You can go get a meal for like $10, maybe $13, whatever. And you can call Grubhub. You can go through a drive-through, and everything is easily accessible. But once that supply chain shut down, you can imagine what it's going to be, man. It's going to be very grim out here, and mainly in those cities. Those cities going to be like a major war zone. And so all you independent women during that time, you're going to be the main target. You're going to be that soft target that everybody's going to go after first, because you're independent. You got your own bag. You got everything that you need, your nice car. So you're going to be the first ones that are going to be sought after. A woman with a man that's got his house protected, he's not going to be easily targeted as you women, man. And they piling you women up, in these little soft complexes and these apartments and all these things that you do have. You're going to be the first ones they're going to go after. So the houses are going to be ran through. They're kicking in the door, strong arm. There's not going to be any 911. Police is not going to be readily available. It's not going to be any police at all. Verse 19, a man shall have no pity upon his neighbor. So your own neighbor going to come, the same person that you knew, going to be kicking in your door or coming in through your window, but shall destroy their houses with the sword and spoil their goods because of the lack of bread and for great tribulation. Because people here are not used to going hungry, man. They're not used to going without. Most everybody here is overweight, especially the women, man. Most everybody here is grossly overweight. So it's like fattening the cow before the butchering, man. That's why this place is called, it's going to be the great sacrifice. So we're going to go to 2 Ezra chapter 16, verse 40. O my people, hear my word, make you ready for thy battle. And in these evils, be even as pilgrims upon the earth. So those of us in this truth, man, we may have to leave everything that we have behind. Maybe have you a backpack with, a few provisions. We may have to hit the highways and byways. We have to be on our own. Because once everything's shut down, there's no getting on the highways, man. I mean, as far as getting in your car or going to catch a train or a plane, all that shit's going to be shut down when all hell breaks loose. Once the supply chain break down, the Lord may put in your spirit, like Book of Eli, to send you on your way. He's going to guide you, man. He's going to guide his elect men and women during this time, man. He's going to guide the elect men to show them where provision is going to be. The Lord's going to provide for his people. He's not going to leave you in naught, man, for doing, what he's asked you to do. Second Ezra chapter 16, verse 71 through 75. And let me go back to that last precept, say we may be as pilgrims. And that's why we shouldn't get so caught up in having a nice house, a nice car, because all these things are going to be a lot of people's demise, because they say, I worked so hard for this, I'm not going to let anybody take it, man. But when all that hell break loose, man, that shit is going to be your death tomb. A lot of people will be fighting to try to preserve and save these things that they do have, and they're going to lose their life behind it. But the Lord put in you, say, just leave all that shit behind and go. I'll take you where you need to be. The Lord's going to provide the things that you're going to need. Same way as it was with Lot and his wife, man. The Lord told him, get the hell up out of there. And they said, don't look back. So we may have to leave all we have behind and just follow, through our faith, the will of the Lord, wherever he may send us. Until he's ready to deliver us up if we are the elect. So we definitely gonna have to depend on the Lord in those days, man. There's no government that's gonna be there to save you, Jakes, man. And Jakes is so reliant on his enemy, on his oppressor for everything. So once that government system shut down and Jake, you on your own, Jake is not going to know what to do. He's not going to know who to call on. There's not going to be any internet. There's not going to be any internet. There's not going to be any news, radio, none of that shit. So, Jake is going to be chaotic out here. But those, the men of the Lord, we know who to listen to. We know that how our frequency is already set into Yahweh Hashem Yahushua. Because on the daily, we sup with the Lord, man. So he's not going to lead us blind, man. He's going to guide us, and he's going to show us what we need to do. We may have to leave a lot of our family behind, So that's going to be a hard struggle for a lot of you Jakes, man. Having to leave some of your family behind if they're not with this truth, and Jake is still connected to the world. You may have to abandon a lot of your families, friends, because we are only responsible for our own salvation during that time. Now, if we have kids up under us, the Lord's going to look out for our kids. But as far as, having a wife or a girl or other family members and friends, some of that we're going to have to abandon. That's going to be that baggage that's going to get you destroyed, trying to preserve those who don't have a faith in the Lord, man. They had the opportunity to get right, to get warm, and yet they chose not to. And if you don't be careful, those will be the same ones, and at times it's going to turn the elect in. They're going to be reported back to Esau, Edom, and going to be same ones that's going to report, the men of the Lord, the same family members that you were trying to help out. So the Lord is already hardening our heart and preparing us for that day. Day by day, man, he's preparing his elect men. Second Ezra chapter 16, verse 71 through 76. They shall be like mad men, sparing none, but still spoiling and destroying those that fear the Lord. For they shall waste and take away their goods and cast them out of their houses. Then shall they be known who are my chosen, and they shall be tried as gold in the fire. And right now we're going through that trial of fire right now, every day, man. Though through different ailments, like Elder Apostle Kabar was just talking about recently, man. These trials that we're going through is preparing us, man. It's preparing us for these new bodies, man, for this new kingdom to come. These hardships that we're going through, And, when you come into this truth, it's not going to be an easy walk, man. You got to go through that fire first. in order to receive the glory, to receive that gold, man, that's waiting at the end. For they shall waste and take away their goods and cast them out of their houses. Yeah, this phone, man, is acting up. Cast them out. They shall be known who are my chosen. So Lord, the men of the Lord, man, they're going to have food. They're going to have provision. They're going to be taken care of in this time of chaos, because the Lord we're going to stand out, and it's going to be known who are the Lord chosen during that time. Things are going to work out for the men of the Lord, man, wherever they may be. And they shall be tried as gold in the fire. And that's how faith is going to be tried, because, you see in the family member that's in distress and going through, but yet they don't believe, you're going to have to, that's a trial right there, whether you're going to abandon what the Lord told you to do or continue on. 2 Ezra chapter 16, verse 74. Hear, O ye my beloved, saith the Lord Yahweh. Behold, the days of trouble are at hand, but I will deliver you from the same. Be ye not afraid, neither doubt, for Yahweh is your God. For Yahweh is your guide. He's going to guide us, man. He's going to lead us to where we need to be. He's going to lead us to a place of safety. When them flood waters come in, when them Gerber troops, when there's no food, no water, he's going to prepare a way for us. 2 Ezra chapter 16, verse 76. And the God of them who keep my commandments and precepts, said the Lord God Yahweh, let not your sins weigh you down, and let not your iniquities lift up themselves. So, we wear this burden, man, like a shield of honor, the things and trials that we go through. And it's not an easy walk. And I think with this is everything is all spiritual, man. It's not carnal. Yeah, we do have a few provisions if you can get them. Having your house ready on hand, on deck if you do need, but don't go overboard with it. Buying and building a bunker is not going to save us, man. And stocking with all type of canned goods and foods that's going to last for 6 months like they try to tell you to do. No, that's not going to save you, man. Buying weapons and all that shit is not going to save us, man. Ours is definitely a spiritual war. The Lord's going to guide us, man, through the Spirit. If we're going to rely on carnal things, then we're going to be just like these other buggers out here that's going to be destroyed. Then you're not putting your trust in the Lord. I'm not saying don't have a weapon if you do have one, but don't go all overboard and think that's going to save you, man. Our faith is what's going to save us in that day. And we're going to finish off with the book of Psalms, chapter 14, verse 1 through 2. The book of Psalms, chapter 41, verse 1 through 2. Shalak if I said 14. Psalms, chapter 41, verse 1. The chief musicians, the Psalms of David. Blessed is he that considereth the poor. The Lord Yahweh Ba'ashem, Yahweh will deliver him in a time of trouble. And who's the poor? He's talking about the elect men of Israel, man. We're the poor. We're the ones that's suffering right now. While everybody else chasing the bag and, doing what they do, we're doing what the Lord has required us to do. We're the poor of Israel, man. We need his help. We don't have anything. We rely mainly on our faith, wholeheartedly on our faith, Shalakia. We rely wholeheartedly on our faith. We're not putting any stock in this society. Verse 2, the Lord Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh will preserve him and keep him alive, and he shall be blessed upon the earth, and thou wilt not deliver him unto the will of his enemies. And who's the enemies is Esau, Edom. And once the government come down with those draconian laws and start implementing the MOTB, who is he going to go after, man? You Jakes, man, and the men of the Lord. And that's why the Lord is guiding you right now about not taking he's warning you about what's coming. So we know not to take the MOTB. If you take that mark, you're going to be destroyed, as I was reading to you earlier in Revelation chapter 12, verse 12. But let me go back because I wanted to find that precept that I said earlier that I want to go back to. it up. That was trying me today, man. It's crazy how this phone is acting. God damn. Still not coming up. Bear with me. Okay, Revelation chapter 13, verse 16. Shalakia. Damn. I can't believe I can remember that. The book of Revelation chapter 13, verse 16. Because everything's leading up to the mark in the society. They're going to collapse society. They're going to try to bring in a new digital system. And once they bring in a digital system, it's going to be, you have to sign your allegiance over to this system. And it's going to have to be a physical mark that's going to be put on you to show that you're tied into the system. Revelation chapter 13, verse 16. And he causes all, both great, Shalakia, and he causes all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand and in their foreheads, and that no man might buy or sell save he that had the mark, or the name of the beast, or the number of his name. So in order to be able to buy during that time, because once the provisions are shut off, and you going without food for 3 or 4 days, a lot of these jakes are going to submit, man. They're going to turn you in. They're going to call you out if they ask who hasn't received the mark, and that's going to be a lot of your family members, a lot of people that you know, so-called friends. So we coming into that time, man. And like Elder Apostle, great beloved Elder Apostle Tahar was saying, once the mark goes out, man, it's going to be only a few months before the Lord's return. You know, he believed through the Spirit that once they implement the MOTB, it won't be long, you know, before the Lord, you know, make his return. He deliver his elect men. And Lord will, man, that we find ourselves redeemable, that we're able to endure these hardships that's soon about to come. Esau's already setting the table, and it's really through the will of the Lord, man. He's allowing this man to do what he's doing to a certain point. And then when the Lord ready to checkmate him, you know, he's going to come in and unravel his plans, man. So with that, you know, pray that we're able to endure, man. And thank the Lord for another day that we're able to wake up, see another day, and continue to fight. So with that, stay shalom.